Welcome to the Mischief. I'm Valen, and this is DevCraft, or Open DevCraft7 is the mod pack name in this case. And it's a beautiful evening. I've got the wandering illagers just going in circles, taking up memory on the server. They're terrible. I've killed so many of them at this point. But yes, I completed my house. Let me show you the back side of it, because this is probably the least impressive at this point. But there you go. It's all create, except for, of course, the DruidCraft torches and stuff. And I've got some support beams going down somewhere near the workshop, but not actually running too much through it. But yeah, it's looking really nice. This is mostly the Gabbro stuff, with a little bit of dark scoria brick walls and whatnot. I made the walls all about 2 blocks deep, and it more or less went in like a 9 block by 9 block area, and then kind of worked in from there. So it's mostly like a 7 by 7. It's rather smaller inside than it looks because the walls are 2 blocks deep, but I'm pretty happy with it. I mean, let me show you around outside once I do a sleep, actually. A lot of the layout is similar, but not the same. Obviously, all the machines and stuff are gone. I kind of moved them out. I've got these little armor suits, a couple of machines there, but let's go up. And I can show you I have just this little like snug little bedroom area. Nothing really fancy here. This is probably the second least impressive. Actually, it's probably less impressive than the back wall. But nonetheless, I still have like this little nightstand and a chest here just for more or less looks. But you can see outside to the neighbors. And we've got the normal storage here and the overhang. Somebody decorated the front with several members of the Mischief's heads, which I'm taking it as a compliment, not an insult, that, you know, like, we're going to come for your head. I think it's more like, look, we decorated with your skins is more the thing. But I kind of broke this up a little bit, added a plants chest, because my storage is still pretty heavy duty. But you notice we got the glass slabs. Most of this is all a slab section. I've got some of these banners more or less just kind of taking up the space. Let's open this up and I'll show you the front. As you can see here, we've got this going on. And of course the pink tulip, Mischief managed, very cute. And I redid all of the front here. As you remember, this is what I did in that one episode. And then I just kind of duplicated it everywhere and kind of modified a little bit. I just like added in this mid section. If you notice, I even have like the scoria starting here and the windows. Then I just cut out the middle and made it a little bit more grandiose. And then of course we've got like the upstairs attic with this little platform up above, which I really like. A little bit of the charm gold lanterns, which is nice. I prettied up the elevator, but I really liked having the gears and stuff exposed. As much as I could cover it up, I really didn't want to. And of course you saw this morning we've got like this morning when we started, we got like the little patio viewing area for the sunsets, which are very nice. I'm more of a sunset person than I am a sunrise. And this guy here. Hi. I'm going to... I don't know why I'm constantly throwing it out. Sorry, that was a bit of an oops. But nonetheless, you can see this has been repaired since the creeper explosion. I've added a call button, which I will use it right now so you can see I replaced this with water down here. 1 block for it to stop on, but then water, so that if somebody does fall through for some reason due to server lag or whatnot, they most likely will not die. It's still a possibility. I could always like put a slab down and waterlog it or something, but But this is the button that you can press for going in, you know, just like so. And of course, as you saw before, we've got the usual stuff here. I've got some of the support beams going up to try and support the platform. It's not the prettiest platform right now. I didn't really fill out that much. I was more concerned with just getting the house finished because I really wanted it to look nice. And I took out the makeshift stairs, added a path. I feel much more complete. It would have been great if I could have done this a little earlier on, because then I could really take the time to enjoy the house. And we've got all the different colors. I added a little path down to the fishing spot, which, yeah, there's a little bench out there too. It's pretty nice. I do like it. And building a house earlier on that's as pretty as this would be great, but I just really didn't have a lot of the materials for it. I feel it's kind of an excuse on my part. But anyway, let's continue inside. This is pretty much where the house ends. It's just this, and you saw upstairs already, which you can still see. But down below, we've got a little storage closet. I've got a skeleton in my closet. There we go. You don't need to see that. No, nothing needed. We've got just more armor displays. I've got all the different things set up with like hopper setups. I could have them piping into each other, but this just means that if I want to, I can adjust them. And I've got the enchanting area. I haven't put any books around because I really don't need the enchantments right now. I was more focused on, like I said, getting the house done. Then we've got like tools and technology. We've got armor. And then we've got ingots and just stuff that's been processed already. Of course, if I do need it, I've got a chest of cobblestone. I realize now I don't need super huge amounts of it. I ended up compacting all the stuff that we already had and put it into a chest. And then I've got my crystal furnaces here and whatnot. And it's pretty nice. And of course, we've got the lever for calling down mobs. Let's close that straight away, and then just throw your yo-yo in there, if you can even get it in there. Oh gosh, that's what swords are for, right? So you can just kind of kill them. And there's a spider somewhere up there. Oh, there it goes. I just heard it die. That's the good thing, is that if the spider doesn't come all the way down and goes back up, it ends up dying for some reason. I don't know why. I haven't looked up in there, but I know that there's 4 spawners up there. Spider, creeper. Yeah, you can hear him right now getting killed on something. Probably drowning. As well as zombie and skeleton. So it's pretty darn good for getting all sorts of different mob drops. And then I put my crystal barrel here, so you can see the different stuff. I put one of the crafting stations, which is hooked up to it. And then, of course, the workbench and the different tools for it there. It's pretty cool. I even put the little cuckoo clock. As much as I could have that hooked up, and it would be cute if it like cuckooed and everything, instead I just put it in a glass frame. And then it made it a little more appropriate, because it's a full-size block. And this shrunk it down. Just made it more appropriate. An aesthetic for me. I still have my path down into the mines. Nothing fancy there. And that's pretty much it. But today, my friends, instead of just the tour, we're going to be building a tree farm. Not that I really need a lot, but I wanted to make something a little more interesting. I could easily make it without rotational force. As you've seen here, you just put some things on and you slap on the cart item here, and it would go, and it would do the things, and it would automatically cut trees and replant them and stuff. But instead, what we're going to do is we're going to use motivational force, well, some of that too, but rotational force. And I'm going to kind of try and pipe off of it, I think, because we've got all this running around, and I don't think that any of this comes out here. I could probably do one of these in place here, and then I could just work off of that. Yeah, because I don't see any problem with this reversing. There we go. And instead of this one, because we're going to want this to go down and into the ground, we're going to have it... Oh, can I even do this without occupying the same space? I don't know. Let's jump upstairs. There we go. That's what I was looking for. And that should help it go down. In fact, we can recraft these. Did I just recraft those? Yes, I did. I just recrafted them into the other. And then I can add in the shaft, which you don't have to have shafts. You can use the, encased shaft, which is really nice. It makes it take up the whole block instead of like leaving an open gap, which I will show you. Like, for example, I want this to be down 2 blocks, go under, come up over here, which is where I'm going to have this little tree farm. It's going to be really small. I might actually expand it with a little bit of wood, or a little bit of dirt over on this side. But it should be fairly small at least. It'll be like a 7 block by 7 block radius. But if I were to have these go down, it just looks kind of like, really? You just kind of have this going into it. And especially if you have it going underwater, and this block not being able to be waterlogged, it's kind of weird. So therefore, sometimes just taking out a little bit of this extra andesite casing, popping it in there, and is it this? Wait a minute. I thought it was that. Can't I just make... Oh, it's next to it. There we go. An encased shaft. And then you can kind of make it look a little bit nicer when it goes into the ground at least. So we're going to break this one. And then we're going to break this one. And we're going to pop that on there. And it's still going, as much as you can't really see very much of it. I'll be removing some of the dirt for now. So I can go through and underneath this structure and back up in the middle of it. But at the very least, you can see, boop, it is still functioning, which is great. And then I can just use a bunch of really cheap of these shafts. Shut your mouth. We're going to put this back here. That's not what I wanted. Like this. Might have to get more. But let's find out just where the center is of this. So if this is the edge of a 7x7 area, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's where we want it to come down. And then I'm going to want to mine that way. So let's actually jump back out. Because I don't know exactly where this is going to be. 1, 2, 3. So one more block. 4. And I can mine up. Yep, there we go. And it meets up. And then I'll want to put one of these in the corner. And then the rest of these can just connect to here. And I can connect the rest from above. Click, 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 click. There we go. And I put the rest of this back down on top of it. Dirt here. And then when the grass grows over, it doesn't really look like there's much going on, which is nice. Because that's pretty much what I want to happen. And then I do need to have this connected down below, which I don't think I can reach it from here, but that's all right, because I can just hop down. These are full block in height, so it shouldn't be a problem. And let's see, I need it to be, I think there, oh, there was one other thing I did not make yet. Let's break all these. I'm going to actually clear this area and make one more block. And I'll be back in a moment once I've got all this prepped and ready. Alright, I'm back. I've got a little bit of an area cleared out, but I'm part way down, and I'm putting in here a clutch. Now a clutch basically will reverse the... actually, it kind of stops things. Let me grab the lever. There we go. If I put this here, and you see how it's turning right now, I flick that, and this is still providing rotational force, but it stops up here. So this is what we are going to be needing. And in this case, I'm going to put a redstone link here, and then I'm going to label it with a tree sapling, because we're going to do, actually we're going to do 2, because I would imagine someone else might already have this frequency. Then sneak right click without my shield. And it'll make it a receiver. So now if I have another one of these, which I can always test this simply by putting one down, click that, put the same channel, which is going to be 2 of those, and then I can put a lever here, click the switch, you see how they're both rotating, and now the top one has stopped. There we go. So it is working. That's great. But I am going to want these back, because this isn't where I want this. But this is going to help. And I do need to cover this back up a bit. So let's put this back in place. There we go. Now, I am going to want to kind of clean this up a little bit, because my machine itself may have placement issues. And I want it to actually stop so I can harvest it automatically. I don't want to have to come down here and click the button to stop it in this case. I want it to automatically go and fill things up. So I'm going to need probably a different kind of block than these. I don't have enough of what I need. In fact, and I don't want to throw away the pink tulip. So we'll just put that right there. I'm going to go get a few blocks. Let's go this way. I might even want to replace this floor down here. It's pretty crappy looking. But I'll show you in a moment. All right, I'm back. And I've cleared out this area around here because I actually don't want saplings in this area. I want this to be area that items can be placed. Ultimately, I'm only going to have saplings placed in here. I'm going to make this a very small farm. It's going to be rotational, And that's pretty much going to be it. I could have saplings on the edges as well, but because of where they may accidentally place, I'm going to eliminate it. It's not going to be the biggest farm. It's going to be a very small one. And in fact, I just want it to be a little bit safer. So this is why I'm kind of limiting the space that the items can be placed. There we go. So where are the saplings going to be placed? Basically, these 3 spots on each of the corners. And that's all I want it to do. So I'm going to put this down. If I put this down first, it might have problems connecting later. So let's actually place down something to have this stop them. Let's do this. And I can make the channels just so I can get this to stop right now. There we go. All right, now if I put down this, a mechanical bearing on top, this is basically like a windmill. Anything attached to it will start spinning around in circles. So you're going to need to have things attached to it. And things that you can attach to it are going to be like linear chassis. Now, this is probably going to be, I don't know if it's going to go out this far. I think it does. I can't remember the exact setup that I had. This is going to be slightly experimental, but we are going to need one of these, a deployer. Which actually, now that I remember, I can move this, put the deployer here. And I don't remember what direction this is going to go in. So let's try and find out, because these are not connected right now. So if anything, this might connect with the deploy. I don't know if it will. No. Okay, so I need to have something connect this. Let's pick this up. And I'm going to need these instead. So, nope. If you want stuff to connect, because you saw how it just kind of placed up, I found that connecting it like this is the best way to go. But I don't know if this is even going to work. So let's try. It does! Hooray! All right, so you can see how it went from here, stopped there. This is why I kind of want this area clear of saplings, because I found that if there are saplings there and they grow while this is stopped or something like that, or it'll just start breaking them and destroying saplings, and it has potential to actually run out of saplings in this way. So I wanted to eliminate that. It's getting late. I'm going to do a quick sleep. All right, so with this in mind, I'm going to need a way of having a deployer be deploying stuff, which I could do this and then have it be sticky like that. And then I can put the deployer on there. So here's something about the deployer, is that you could have it face down, but it's not going to like place saplings that way. It places saplings sideways or horizontally like this, or at least that's what I found. And I'm going to want it to be filtered with just saplings. So you can even put an entire stack in the hand, which I'm not going to in this case. You notice that it kind of like rotated itself. But either way, it's there, it's stickified, it should be good. And if I have my wrench, let's see here, grab this. I should be able to see, yeah, these are all set at 8. None of these should be any higher than 1. Because I don't want to accidentally grab part of the landscape and start spinning it. It can be very bad. But if it's going this way, you're going to want it to deploy on the follow-up. You're going to want the cutting blade to be on the front, which is this, a mechanical saw, which, yeah, it's relatively cheap. You just put it on the front. There you go. And it should, at an angle, like as it's going around here, sweep across these 3 blocks without any problem. In fact, it is like 2 blocks off from where the deployer is, but the deployer places at the end of the tip. So it'll only reach these 3 here in a circle. It also, if these were not replaced, it would plant in this strip here, but I don't want it to, so I replaced it with things that it's not going to plant. Anyway, that you think would work, but it's not going to, because again, I forgot to stickify this. Let's make sticky, and then I can just put this on here, and there you go. It's all done, right? No, not quite. We're going to need a little bit more going on with this. In fact, I'm going to want that to be sticky. And I'm going to want these redstone contacts. And oops, I put that wrong. If you click on the other contact with one contact with another one, it should face it automatically. But that one is now sticky, so it'll go around as well. And what do? Well, when they connect, they actually do a signal. Even when it's like in its like you can walk through it ethereal like while this is in motion. Actually, here, let me flick the lever. And you'll see this will actually light up as it comes nearby. Boop. Just like that. And this will allow me to have some measure of control over stopping this automatically. Ow. I forgot that the saw blade actually hurts when you walk through it. But otherwise, the rest of the blocks shouldn't hurt at all. Oh, that was a bit of a goof. Anyway, places that I can put a chest that I know will always be there. It's going to be here. And that's going to be a bit of a trouble. A bit of an issue, bit of fun. Let's put down another linear chassis. We're going to want it to just be a single chest. And I'm going to need to break this. I don't know that it'll actually connect like this. Will it connect like this? I can't remember. But either way, I want it to. So I guess we'll find out. I sticky that. Will it work? I don't remember. Let's find out. Now, if I spin this, no, it does not. Okay, fair enough. I almost got chopped. So I'm going to need to fix this. Be right back. Okay, so this is where the redesign comes in and why I remember it being a lot more clunky than what I was originally planning. Because they don't connect diagonal like this. They won't stickify to each other in that manner. They have to have some kind of facing. So what I can do is click on here, add the chest on top, but it of course needs to be sticky. So let me get this slime ball in place, get a chest in place. And this is the reason I want this chest here instead of out at the end, is because this way, even if this stops here or there or there or over here, the chest is always still going to be in the middle. And then I can get a translocator to just kind of pull the stuff out into another inventory, which I can then have fed via conveyor belt elsewhere into maybe another nearby chest, something like that. I could probably have it fed up underneath and into the house. I might just, personally, I think I'm just going to have it fed over here or something, just to make it a little bit simpler, straightforward, nothing really too complex. And in fact, I might just put another chest over here just for that. There we go. Get it out of my inventory for now. And what I'm going to want to do is reattach the deployer and, where is it, the mechanical saw. So let's switch these out. Shouldn't need that backpack for a bit, but I will need the food. Okay, what I can do now is attach this to here, but I'm going to need a block broken to do so. So I can reach down here, make this sticky for that. And in fact, that is not what I wanted to happen. I need to go out one more block. I totally forgot. 1, 2. And then I need to make this block sticky for the deployer, which I think it's facing in the right way. Nope. Facing the wrong way. And I just broke things. Oh dear, because it just grabbed 8 blocks going all the way down and it just... Oh, all right, gonna have to fix it. All right, so I'm back. This chest up here is sticky down to this linear chassis. The underside of this linear chassis is sticky, and more importantly, it's only set to 1 block now. Let's change that one too. So I was doing this a little bit off, but I found that if you click, there we go. So now that should spin. I'm gonna, before I test it, let's make that 1. And then, yes, all right, so it does work. Wait for it to get all the way around, and then I can just attach more to this. Let's spin that back down. There we go. Here and here. Perfect. Okay, so deployer goes on the back side, right? Put this here, but in order to do so, it needs to stick to it. Deployer, stuck. Oak sapling filter, done. Okay, then on the front side, we're going to have two things. Or one thing, actually. We're going to need this, but we're also going to need it to be sticky. Need to rotate these all down to 1 instead of being 8. Stick that in place. There's the saw, which is going to cut across here. And on the back side, we're going to have one of those redstone contacts. And that's going to be... Let's see if I can actually do this from here. That flipped it around backwards. Can I? Please? I need you to rotate this way. There we go. Okay. Thing is, I don't think that I made this whole thing sticky. Crud. Alright, well. No, I didn't. Glad that I checked. And there we go. By the way, scrolling with your mouse wheel through your hotbar is a bad idea with this mod. I tell you what. Alright. So then that should line up with this one, I think. Let's flick it. Yep, it sure does. Perfect. All right, so this is going to place saplings, this is going to chop saplings, and this is going to send a redstone signal every so often when it gets over here. Of which we can make one of these, an adjustable pulse repeater, which is made with a pulse repeater and an adjustable repeater, which is kind of made with a whole bunch of other stuff. It's not too complex, but it's a thing. And then if I place it like this, I want it to go up to, let's say, 3 seconds. There we go. Should be good. And then it will pulse, and then that will stop this momentarily for it to dock and offload any kind of contents in place. It may also stop it at some point because it does the pulse and then it kind of shoots it off to the side. But let's try this. We're going to put this here. I'm going to grab the saplings. There's the frequency. So right now I've got this, which I can turn off. And it should send a signal to stop it, but it's not working. Why are you not working? That's something that I forgot, is this. It needs to be an adjustable repeater, not an adjustable pulse repeater, because the pulse repeater was just doing a quick pulse. I want it to actually, well, just stay there for, you know, like a slow redstone signal. You'll see what I mean in a second here. So let's break this. That's not what I want. I want that. And then I need to increase that to, I believe 3 seconds was good. There we are. That should work. Now if I turn that off, it'll give a signal that takes 3 seconds, and then pow, it stops. And then it takes a few seconds, and then it goes again. And that's all I wanted it to do. Because then, if it's, well, there was a little bit of a speed up of the server there. It has a second to dock and offload any kind of contents. So then we just need one of those translocator things here, a little transposer. Ooh, linked transposer. Oh, takes items from attached inventory and immediately puts them into the target inventory. Can be assigned in item stack. Can be controlled remotely via redstone link. No, that's all right. I just need to make one of these. So I'll make one of these things eventually, but for now, let's actually get this. Some saplings. And I'm going to want to stand up here so I don't get chopped. And when this thing stops, which it should about there, I'll put a bunch in. And it'll start planting. Da, 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 da. That's great. That is great. And you see here that where these things are when they stop, they actually do not interfere with any of the saplings. Nice. And this is my little tree farm. So I'm going to go get one of those transposers, another chest, and perhaps some conveyors and stuff. Maybe we can get this thing set up a little bit more interesting to offload the contents. Plus I'll get some bone meal so you can see the trees being chopped down. All right, I'm back. And that little blurp, 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 blurp sound you're hearing is the deployer trying to plant in areas that are already occupied, so therefore nothing's happening. But let's grow something, shall we? We're gonna... There we go. Tree gets grown. It's a big one. It's a big one. But don't worry, it's got like... or excavate attached to it. Pow! And it destroys the whole thing. And you can see in here, it stopped for a moment, and it was on the opposite side this time. That's because it had to pause to actually cut the tree down. You can see there's all sorts of ingredients in there now. Oop. And if you're not fast enough, when it stops, you won't be able to like access the inventory. So I brought some shafts and some mechanical belts, some extractors, which by the way I think a couple of these will make a transposer. That's perfect. Of which, can't remember, if I click this here it will go out of that, which is perfect actually. If I click this on that chest, it should allow me to kind of get that. I'm just going to need to wait for it to stop so I can climb up on it. And actually what I think I should probably do instead is just click this to turn it off. I always need to have some kind of off button. I think that's probably also a good idea. Maybe I'll put that over there, a little bit safer. But now I can put this on here. Should be all right. Oh, see, the trees are growing now. This is going to be a problem. And then I can put a chest on top. I might need to get a little bit of wood. Hey, I know where I can find some wood. Let's grab a couple of these so I can make another chest. And then I can put this on top. There we go. And then it'll offload any of its contents into the chest. Perfect. And then I can always have the shafts connected to this stuff going elsewhere. I think it might be good to have this extractor. There we go. Hey! That's good to a point. Bad in others. Let's get some of these up here. If I can click this on here. And in fact, this tree is actually proving quite useful. Let's continue building out with a little bit of wood. And then I'm going to want to have this shaft come over here. And then we can connect these belts together. Nice. I just need to have some kind of rotational force moving this, but I'm not too bothered with it at the moment. But that should extract things onto the belt, which if I put this stuff back in here, there we go. Yeah, see, it's not going anywhere because there's no rotational force to it, so it's just holding these inside at the moment. There we go. That's what I was hoping for. And then it should go into potentially, oops, I just lost my little bit of wood for another chest. In fact, let's do a couple more. There we go. Can I get this to come down at an angle? Perhaps. I don't know if I can. What I might do instead is craft up a whole chest for it to extract into. Yeah, funnel. Perfect. Put a chest here, and then have a funnel. Whoops, that's not the right spot. I need it to go one higher. Put this up here, and then a funnel going into that. Perfect. And then from it, we can have an extractor, which I think I've got some more. I know that it's like way overdone here, but you know what? I'm alright with that. That's the whole idea here, is that I'm having fun with it. So we're going to have this go down at a diagonal. Oh, I could have it come all the way down here, I bet. Mechanical belt to a mechanical belt. Oh, that's awesome. And then I will need, again, I'll need a way of converting these, and it is also getting late. I don't want this getting blown up. I'll be right back. All right, and then one more chest, just because I'm having fun with it. Put this right here, and a funnel on top of that. That should give us access to it. It just looks a little bit weird. I might put one of these down just so that it looks a little bit better. Looks like it kind of comes up into it. I do need to have this hooked up to some kind of power source, and this belt hooked up to some kind of power source. I don't know where as of yet. You know, I could probably replace a couple of pieces of glass here. Not like that's difficult to replace. And have a couple of encased shafts. Or encased belts, even better. Yeah. And then have them connecting here. And then have that connect around here. So I'm going to make a few of those. And I'll be right back. Alright, let's try this. It's getting a little bit crowded in here. I initially had it going the wrong direction again because I reversed things, but it should be working as intended now. Okay, phew, good. All right, so with it spinning, there, I'll get rid of that. Thank you very much. This is currently doing its job of making it stop. Then the items go from here up to there. See if I can actually get up. No, I can't get up there fast enough. Okay. Can I sneak upstairs? I can. And in fact, I see that there's a bunch of junk that needs to go. These are not required. Okay, get up top. Got it. We'll chop that, but you can see the stuff is coming out and going in. Or coming out of there, going in here. Because I have a gearbox connected to some encased belts. There's two of them together, and then this just is basically a shaft connecting the two. It just looks a little more professional when it's like this, I guess. I don't know. And then, as before, I've got all this just pooping out onto the mechanical belt, which then goes downstairs to this one, which is just sitting on a... I just put a radial chassis here because it looks a little bit better. And then there we go. All the stuff comes out into chests, which I could probably put a crystal chest here or something. But for now, this is really good. And I do need to change a little something else just for finality's sake. And I'll show you what I've got going on underneath. As you're already aware, this is here. I don't need to have these filling in this place. In fact, I'm going to have that step returned, and I'm going to remove my on-off switch on this side because I don't want to have to run through a saw blade to turn it off. But as you can see, I currently have two gearboxes. The reason being, if you put down one gearbox between two shafts, it'll actually reverse the direction that the other shaft is going. So in order to ensure that I was still going in the same direction, I kind of needed to put down a second gearbox. And it's pretty much nighttime at this point, but I feel that it's important to have an on-off switch. So let's do this right here. And I need some saplings. There we go. To register this, and then a lever right next door. And then I can shut it off as I want. Or if I'm leaving the server, I don't need to worry about it running constantly in a possibly loaded chunk. Even if I didn't load the chunk, it's possible. You never know. But then I don't need to worry about this stuff. But I can leave it running while I'm like out exploring or something like that. And there we go. That's pretty good. I've got this little workshop area down here. I've got my power source going on. I've got my auto farm set up, which, by the way, totally need to have this going again. Is it coming around? I think it is. Yeah, here it comes. One more run. So I hope you guys have been enjoying this series on Open DevCraft7. I know that soon the actual DevCraft instead of Open DevCraft7 will be reinitiated on 1.15. And speaking of, Create is now on 1.15 Minecraft, which is really good news. It's great news. It was a lot sooner than I thought it would be. So if you have been enjoying this series, please be sure to give me a like. Give the video a like. Give everyone a like. Give a comment. Tell me what you're thinking. What things you'd like to see in the future. And yeah, I really appreciate you guys. Been hanging out for a while. Probably be starting a new Let's Play series sometime soon. I've got a whole lot of bit by bits planned, as well as the a few Mischief musings set up. So I hope you guys will be enjoying those as well. But until next time, folks, I'll see ya.